Welcome to my channel. Upon first glance, Daisy Coleman appeared to embody the epitome of grace and potential. Her gentle demeanor, sharp intellect, and diverse talents painted a portrait of youthful vitality. However, beneath her captivating exterior, Daisy carried a deeply troubled spirit, stemming from harrowing experiences she endured from a young age. Born on March 30th, 1997, in the serene town of Albany, Missouri, Daisy was part of a family of 6, including her father, Michael, a practicing physician, her mother, Melinda, a veterinarian, and 3 younger brothers. The year 2009 marked a turning point filled with tragedy when Daisy, her father, Michael, and one of her brothers were en route to a wrestling tournament. Their journey met a tragic end when their car collided with an unexpected obstacle, leading to a fatal crash into a ravine, claiming the life of their patriarch. In the aftermath of this devastating loss, the Coleman family relocated to Maryville, Missouri, seeking a fresh start in a larger city. Melinda found herself shouldering the weight of single-handedly raising her 3 sons and daughter, navigating through a period fraught with challenges, foreshadowing further tribulations to come. In the frigid early hours of January 8, 2012, Daisy Coleman, then 14 years old, awoke to find herself in the snow-covered yard of her home, with temperatures plummeting to 0 degrees or lower. There, her hair frozen to the ground and clad only in a t-shirt and athletic pants, Daisy found herself in a bewildering state. Her first thought was haunting, "I must be dead." Immobilized, unable to raise her voice or articulate her thoughts, tears engulfed her. With immense effort, Daisy managed to drag herself to her house's front door, pounding on it with every ounce of her remaining strength. It was now 5 a.m. By some stroke of fortune, her mother Melinda, deep in slumber in her room, discerned the odd noise, initially mistaking it for their dogs seeking shelter from the cold. Melinda donned her robe and made her way to the door, intending to let the pets in. The sight that met her upon opening the door was nothing short of shocking. Her daughter, Daisy, lying on the threshold, consciousness waning, with the sharp scent of alcohol enveloping her. Unable to articulate her plight, expressing her distress only through tears, Daisy lay on the frosty steps. In a panic, Melinda called out for assistance, summoning her sons who sprang into action, hurrying downstairs to retrieve the hypothermic Daisy from the cold and bringing her into the warmth of their home. The family's fear was palpable. Initially, they tried to warm Daisy with blankets, but upon closer inspection, Melinda noticed severe signs of frostbite on her daughter's legs. She quickly filled the bathtub with water, instructing her sons to carry Daisy to the bathroom and then leave her under her care. Daisy was still unresponsive as Melinda started to undress her, revealing extensive bruising and red marks on her legs. It was at this moment that the grim reality dawned upon Melinda. Her beloved Daisy had endured something horrific. She gently placed Daisy in the cool water, applying her veterinary knowledge to administer appropriate first aid for the frostbite, gradually raising the water temperature to warm her daughter's body. Thankfully, her efforts were successful, and Daisy began to regain warmth, but her speech remained confused and disjointed. Alarmed by her daughter's condition, Melinda dialed 911, prompting the arrival of the police. The officers arrived and examined Daisy. However, Daisy's mind was still clouded by alcohol, and she was unable to testify about the events of the previous night. So, the officers had to rely on the story of Daisy's friend Paige, who was at the Coleman family home that night and slept in the room with Daisy. Here's what the friend said. On Saturday, January 7th, 2012, Daisy invited her best friend Paige to her house for a party in the evening. The girls watched horror movies and drank hot drinks, which were secretly stolen from the Coleman family's wine cabinet. Toward nightfall, Daisy began texting with her older brother's friend, a 17-year-old boy named Matthew Barnett, who was a popular player on the high school soccer team. Matthew, upon learning that Daisy was having a sleepover with her friend, sent the girls a text message that read, "Hey, do you want to have some fun at my place?" Daisy and Paige were excited about the offer and agreed to meet Matthew and his friends without a second thought. Around 1 a.m. on January 8th, the friends snuck out of Daisy's house through her bedroom window and ran around the corner of the house, where Matthew and 4 of his buddies met them. The guys took the girls to Matthew's house, helped them get into the basement through a window, and asked them to be quiet so as not to wake Barnett's parents, who were sleeping upstairs. Paige revealed that as soon as she and Daisy got into the basement, in the spring of 2013, tragically, their vacant house in Maryville, which was listed for sale, mysteriously burned down. The cause of the fire remained undetermined by the police, fueling speculations that it was an act of retaliation, possibly linked to Matthew Barnett's father, under peculiar circumstances. Sometime later, the house of Daisy's friend Paige also succumbed to a fire. By then, Daisy and Paige had ceased communication, and Paige found herself ostracized at school, plagued by persistent nightmares. Eventually, Daisy's ordeal gained national media attention, resonating with others across the country who had endured similar experiences. This newfound support enabled Daisy to reopen the case against Matthew Barnett, her primary antagonist. At the subsequent trial, Matthew was only found guilty of leaving Daisy exposed to the freezing temperatures. He received a sentence of 2 years probation and was ordered to pay $1,800 in restitution to the Coleman family. No further charges were pursued against the other individuals involved in the incident. Daisy Coleman continued to face life's challenges, receiving both support and threats from anonymous online sources. She grappled with the harsh reality of the unfair treatment and criticism directed at her. In 2016, when Daisy was 19 and attending college, a Netflix documentary titled Audrey and Daisy was released. This film delved into the issues of violence, bullying, and cyberbullying, along with their devastating consequences. Daisy featured prominently in the documentary, courageously sharing her personal experiences. The film also highlighted the story of another young woman, Audrey Pott from California, whose tale ended in an even greater tragedy. In a tragic parallel to Daisy Coleman's experience in 2012, Audrey Pott faced a similar ordeal, but with an even more heart-rending outcome. Photos of Audrey circulated rapidly online, reaching not only her friends but also her adversaries. In her final social media post, Audrey expressed her profound despair, stating, "My life is destroyed. The whole school knows. I can never get rid of this reputation. Everyone knows how bad I am. I want it all to end." Just 9 days after this post, Audrey, overwhelmed by the relentless humiliation and unable to cope with the magnitude of her suffering, tragically took her own life. 6 months following Audrey's tragic passing, her parents successfully initiated legal proceedings. The responsible individuals, 3 boys, received sentences of 30 to 45 days for their involvement in the incident. Subsequently, their families compensated Audrey's parents with approximately $1 million for emotional damages. Shifting the focus back to Daisy Coleman in 2018, she chose to embark on a fresh start by relocating to Colorado. There, she found employment at a tattoo parlor and was engaged in a new film project, which chronicled her journey towards healing. Tragically, in June 2018, Daisy faced another heart-rending ordeal when her mother Melinda and brother Tristan were involved in a car accident while en route to visit Daisy from their hometown. Tragically, her 19-year-old brother Tristan lost his life in the accident, the details of which remain shrouded in mystery. Following the devastating loss of her brother, Daisy Coleman turned to social media to share her inner turmoil. In a heartfelt post, she admitted that with each passing day, it became increasingly challenging to contain her inner demons, fabricate a smile, and maintain the facade that all was well. In the wake of her brother's death, Daisy became a co-founder of a non-profit organization dedicated to aiding victims of violence. She continued to openly discuss her own traumatic experiences while offering support to others facing similar adversities. Daisy often used her posts to express the difficulty she faced managing her emotional distress, grappling with panic attacks, and being haunted by relentless nightmarish recollections. In the summer of 2020, 23-year-old Daisy Coleman began telling friends that she was being followed by an unknown man, sending her threats. She reported this to the police, pleading for help, but her pleas were ignored. On Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, Daisy wrote on Twitter about her fear of leaving her house, unable to walk her dog or go to work due to her terror. She wrote that she had stopped eating and sleeping. Hours later, Daisy posted on Facebook that an unknown man had approached her house and knocked on the door, frightened. She suspected he might have stolen her keys and could break into her house. Daisy also wrote that this man had stolen her photos and created a profile on a website offering intimacy for money under her identity. After reading her daughter's social media posts, Daisy's mother, Melinda, called the Colorado police for a welfare check. At 4 p.m., officers arrived at her house, and she let them in. They stayed for about an hour, talking to her about the stalking. The officers noticed nothing unusual in Daisy's behavior. But shortly after they left, Daisy video called her boyfriend, took out a gun, pointed it at herself, and pulled the trigger. The boyfriend initially didn't understand what happened as the call dropped. Daisy stopped responding to calls, and the boyfriend called 911. When police returned to Daisy Coleman's house at 8 p.m., they found her dead. Daisy's mother, Melinda, announced her daughter's death by publishing a post on social media stating, "She was my best friend and a wonderful daughter. How I wish I could have shouldered her pain onto myself. She never recovered from what those young boys did to her back in school, and it's just not fair. My daughter is gone from us," the mother confessed. She had fought for Daisy and her mental health for many years, believing she had done everything possible for her beloved daughter. The mother admitted that her daughter had indeed been pursued by a stalker in recent months. Additionally, Daisy had recently discovered that she would never be able to have children. After Daisy's death, the tattoo parlor where she worked was robbed. The thief stole an album with Daisy's exclusive drawings and her tattoo machine. 4 months later, in December 2020, 58-year-old Melinda Coleman wrote another touching post on social media dedicated to her beloved daughter. Afterwards, the woman took a gun and did the same thing as her daughter Daisy had done. In the Coleman family, only 2 sons remained, the older Charlie and the younger Logan. Daisy's charitable organization organized a fundraising effort to support the boys. It is known that the life and career of Matthew Barnett are going well and successfully. After the deaths of Daisy and her mother Melinda, the man expressed his condolences for what happened to the Coleman family. If you found this story interesting, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to share your opinion in the comments. This was Jeremy. See you in the next video.